The Cleveland Cavaliers have a ton of questions that need to be answered this year. So let's break down 3 storylines or 3 key factors you should be keeping an eye on throughout the 23-24 NBA season. Starting with the biggest change to the roster, if the preseason is any indication, the Cavaliers are going to shoot the ball a lot more than they did last year. And with the additions of players like Max Strus, Georges Niang, Ty Jerome, and Emoni Bates, why wouldn't you? The Cavs used to rely almost entirely on Garland, Mitchell, and LeVert to create shots from behind the arc. But now, they have multiple supporting players who are willing to bomb away from any spot on the floor. And this stylistic change has opened the door for everyone on the team to succeed. Last year, the Cavs placed 24th in three-pointers attempted per game and played at the slowest pace in the NBA. This turned each game into a half-court boxing match and strained Cleveland's all-star backcourt to routinely create something out of nothing. But with numerous respected shooters around them this season, the floor should be spaced enough to alleviate some of the pains that held them back. It's hard to go anywhere in the NBA these days without three-point shooting. So if the Cavs have any serious hopes for the upcoming season, it's vital they stamp themselves as a premier three-point shooting team. And this brings us into our next story to follow. Just how much depth did the Cavs add this summer? This goes hand in hand with their spacing, because so much of the offseason was dedicated to adding quality rotational pieces who can shoot the ball. It's obvious why Strus and Niang were sought after, and it feels like a safe bet that they will both continue to be productive role players just as they have been throughout their entire time in the NBA. But what about the rest of Cleveland's depth chart? Caris LeVert is the next most reliable player, and I think he's set up to have another solid season. But can they count on a step forward from Isaac Okoro? The 22-year-old defensive dynamo has yet to put it together on both ends of the floor, but would be a mightily valuable piece if he finds a role with the bench, and his returns from the preseason so far have been promising. Then you have Ty Jerome, who is likely to play big minutes as Cleveland's backup point guard while Ricky Rubio is away from the team. I love the way Jerome pushes the pace for Cleveland, and I think he's a crafty enough guard to bring a dose of electricity to the second unit. At the back end of the rotation, Sam Merrill and Dean Wade are 2 guys who can flat out shoot the ball. And with Wade fully recovered from a shoulder injury that appeared to sabotage his confidence, a return to form could have Wade fill in as a small ball 4 in a very helpful manner. Damian Jones is the athletic big man the Cavs were missing on their bench last season, and Tristan Thompson can always be counted on to bring some energy. Lastly, the two-way players. Emoni Bates and Craig Porter Jr. are exciting enough prospects that I think you should really consider watching some G League basketball this year, because both Bates and Porter have the skills to be long-term NBA players. Overall, the Cavs bench is totally unique from the year before. There's proven, consistent pieces that stylistically complement the starting lineup, and enough options in the back end of the bench to keep the ball rolling through 82 games. Last season, Cleveland had one of the worst bench units in the NBA, so it would be a breath of fresh air to have backups they can truly rely on. But ultimately, Cleveland's season is going to come down to how their stars perform. And more than anything, the future is resting on Evan Mobley's shoulders. The Cavs won't get where they want to go unless Mobley makes a leap as a star. He's already a world-class defender, and his offensive game is coming along gradually. But I'm starting to think Mobley is on the cusp of a breakout season, showcasing confidence in every movement he makes. I don't think Mobley will be drilling three-pointers all of a sudden, but watch for his mid-range game, post hook, and more attacks off of the dribble. And especially watch for how many reps Mobley will get at the elbow this season. With Cleveland shooters dancing around him to generate quality looks, this is the season Mobley's playmaking should start to pop. And how fast he is able to earn more touches in the offense will determine how much weight Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland have to carry each night. Because if Mobley can jump to 20 points while dishing 4 or 5 assists, all on top of being arguably the best defender in the world, he'll be an all-star with no doubt, and the Cavaliers will be primed to compete with anyone in the NBA. The same goes for the rest of their core development, from the marginal growth Allen and Mitchell can still make to the exponential development that is still on the table for Darius Garland and Evan Mobley. This whole thing comes down to how talented that core group can become, and throughout the upcoming season, we should get a better understanding of just how high their ceiling will be.